This is the Krillcast. I'm Chris.
Well,
And we're a little manic, but what is today, Will?
it's Manic Monday.
Whoa, what a coincidence. Holy cow. I could never have predicted that one. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do we do on Manic Monday? We cover some news topics, usually
We
usually a
talk about
week
random
after
stuff that interests us.
usually a week after everybody else does, and then it's like old news, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
This to
It's
me
it's
is
new right now.
it's new as we're recording it.
Yep.
So this is kind of news that'll be kind of ongoing for a while, but the Xbox Series X is expected to be in limited supply until June. How do you feel about that, Will?
I'm not surprised.
If I see one, I'll pick it up and you can pay me back.
No, man, I want them to just officially announce there's going to be a special edition, like Halo 1 or Fable 1, and then I'm going to buy both.
What if there's a Xbox Series X limited edition that has 4 games, one on each panel?
It would depend on what games it is.
Minecraft.
Nope. Already out.
Halo Infinite, Fable, and Doom.
If it was like Gears, well, Doom, I guess, is a Xbox game now, but if it was Gears, Fable, Halo, what would be the fourth one? It was like the fourth, Forza, I guess? I don't want Forza, though. Ori.
It's probably going to be that new Bethesda game.
Starfield?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but do you think they should keep all the Bethesda games on Xbox and PC?
Like when you say that, you mean keep them exclusive to Xbox and PC?
Yes.
I think from a business standpoint, that makes sense. But I don't
Giving
know.
up millions of customers on the other system, so you can think of it that way too.
The other, I mean, but you think about it this way. Maybe on the Switch, I could see them porting like old games to the Switch. But as far as the audience, like PlayStation has never had a massive Bethesda install base. Xbox is usually where Bethesda games sell better, especially PC, because PC seems to be the king of Bethesda. But I don't think that PlayStation sells as well as it should for how big of an install base it is with Bethesda games, if that makes sense.
I don't know the numbers, so I'm not sure on that.
I looked it up at one point in time, and it seemed like Xbox kind of dominates the Bethesda market.
Okay. I know they're always glitchy and they always come later to the PlayStation, but I don't know. I know a lot of people are looking forward to the next Elder Scrolls or the next Fallout, and it is possible that it's not going to go there. What series did Sony just pay to make sure it didn't come to Xbox? Final Fantasy?
16, yeah.
Yeah. So again, if Sony's playing dirty like that, I'm of the mindset it's like, well, you know what? Screw you. Because we talked about this before, and I was like, I want everyone to be able to play no matter what system they're on. But now I'm just like, you know what? Buy Sony.
You know what? What I will say is this: Xbox is doing it right with backwards compatibility. Because I found myself the other day, I popped in the Mass Effect games in my Xbox One, and I was thinking about like playing on the PlayStation. I was like, wait a second. A, I don't have it on PS3, and B, I couldn't even play it on PS4 if I wanted to until the new edition comes out.
Yep.
I was like, that's kind of crappy. Like, I love the fact that I can pop any generation of Xbox disc into my Xbox One, of all things, and play those games.
Yeah.
It's
even more robust in the Series X because you can play all of your Xbox One games on the Series X besides the Kinect ones.
Yeah, besides the Kinect ones. I'm the only sad person about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. So the next bit of news is, it's not like big news, but it is news, and I didn't actually know this until recently. On the Mass Effect Trilogy remake, the Legendary Edition, it's not a remake, it's a remaster. Aside from some other content that was discussed online that I don't really care about covering, but there are some things being cut. I'm not going to discuss that. It's all over. Everybody knows what it is, and I don't really have an opinion on that. What I do have an opinion on is the fact that they have removed Pinnacle Station, which...
So... I heard about this briefly, and I feel like Ryan McCafferty, I think I said his name correctly, was saying it on the Xbox Unlocked podcast that it was already corrupted in the original versions, like it was kind of glitchy or not playable or something already.
No, it's playable.
So
I have it. I
there's something wrong with it, possibly, because they made it like it wasn't a big deal.
Let me explain it. No, Pinnacle Station is actually a really great side mission you can play. It's quite fun, and there are some aspects of it that are frustrating, but I did find what was there very enjoyable. So the reason why Pinnacle Station, the reason why they can't port it over, is because the original source code to recompile it is corrupted. And it was produced by a third party. It was not produced by BioWare, which is why it feels very different from the rest of the Mass Effect game. But what it is essentially a training station in space that you can go to level up your RPG geez, I can't talk, skills, level them up, and play through like 12 missions with your AI companions. And it did help you get a feel for what is going on with, oh, I guess that one didn't work. It gives you a feel for what's going on with your squad mates and how to control them, and kind of movements and skills and that kind of stuff. Like, it really was a cool side mission that you could play. I'm sad that they didn't get a chance to remasters, I should say, in the next gen consoles, because I think they could have fixed some of the things about it, especially since they're already fixing some other stuff in regards to Mass Effect 1. Like, for example, they're removing the female Shepard model and replacing it with the Mass Effect 3 female Shepard model, which is way more true to what a actual female would look like, as opposed to the kind of glitchy original version. And whether you like the original one or not, I think a higher quality model is always better than a lesser quality model. So for the most part, unless you're talking about Mass Effect Andromeda, which was an abomination of whatever it was when it launched. But I digress. Pinnacle Station being removed to me is a big deal, because it shows that some of the source code was missing from the original game, and it means they're not going to be passing that on forward.
So, yeah, it just makes it that much more important to archive games, because something like this can happen and it's just gone. It's just gone now.
So I own all of the DLC for all the Mass Effect games now. I made the plunge. I bought all the Mass Effect 3 DLC that I didn't already have, and it costs about the same amount of money as it did for my pre-order of the Legendary Edition. Yep. I posted that on Twitter and nobody noticed. But I'm excited I'm going to be playing the Xbox 360 editions on my Xbox One over the course of the next few months, at the same time that I'm finishing up Persona 5 Royal, and I'm curious to see the differences between the original versions and the Legendary Edition. I'm not a huge fan of the new lens flare either, so that's a little disappointing that they're kind of making it kind of a dark, grungy looking space game. Which is not what I felt like this game was in the original game. So anyways, that was my take on it. I think Pinnacle Station being lost is a big deal, and anybody saying it isn't doesn't really understand what it represents for the series. Let's see here. So
let's jump to your main topic.
I'm so excited about this, okay? And this is being rumored by Jason Schreier, and people have already covered this. I don't care, whatever. I'm excited, because I was worried that they were going to give BioWare the chance to screw up a KOTOR remake or a new KOTOR game. Oh my gosh. But instead, they're handing the reins off to, it sounds like, rumored Aspyr Media. Which, if you didn't know, Aspyr Media did a lot of the other Star Wars ports of other games, like Star Wars Knights of the Republic to mobile, Steam, and to mobile and Steam was the only two I can think of right off the top of my head.
It's on Switch too. Did they do that one?
I don't think so. I don't think it's on the Switch.
Oh, did you say Jedi? Which one did you say? Did you say KOTOR or
KOTOR 1 and 2 are on mobile and Steam. They did really good ports of that. They did Jedi Outcast, and the other one was Jedi Academy. They did the Jade Empire ports. They did the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, all of those ports. They did. And, little known fact, they actually helped produce the game Stubbs the Zombie with Alex Seropian, the Bungie original founder, Bungie, right?
It runs on the Halo engine.
So, anyways, this is the company that could potentially be doing a new KOTOR game or a KOTOR remake, as opposed to what they've already done, which is ports and remasters. And everything that I have bought from this company has been like top notch as far as maintaining what was there and making it accessible on new platforms. So I have huge faith in this company to do it correctly and hopefully well.
Yeah, and the thing is, they had their hands all over the first and second KOTOR games, so they should at least understand what makes a good KOTOR game.
Like, this is my standout company of 2020. Like, they really have done great work in the period of time that I've been following them. They've been around a lot longer than I've been following them, but my goodness, I cannot pick a better company to port older games to newer systems than this company. They have done such a great job porting this game to mobile, porting it to Steam. The Episode 1 Racer, like, they did a super faithful job at porting that game to the Switch, the Xbox One, the PS4.
So I'll point out one thing you keep saying. You keep saying port, port, port. I hope they can actually make a game.
Yeah, they've made games before. The focus for a while was ports because they kept getting paid to do ports.
Well, yeah, I'm not faulting their business model. I'm not faulting their work. My point is, it's just like it's going to be different building a KOTOR game versus just porting one that was already made.
Stubbs the Zombie was one of their original works with Alex Seropian.
That game's garbage.
Is it?
It's fun. It's goofy, dumb, original Xbox fun. But I mean, there's a reason why there isn't a second game.
It just looks really silly. Anyway, so that's one of the games they have produced, and that was with Alex Seropian, like I said before. So what is our opinion on? I mean, the fact of the matter is they've been playing with the KOTOR engine and porting it to many different consoles. So if they can reuse what they have in the old KOTOR games to make a new game, I think could be successful. And honestly, if you make a lower, not lower, what's the right word? Not lower effort, but if you were to scale down the graphics and make essentially what KOTOR 3 would have been back when KOTOR 1 and 2 came out, but make a lot of quality of life improvements, like don't necessarily up the graphics fidelity to crazy high fidelity, but if you can just make a good RPG in the KOTOR universe and utilize the old engine, I think people would appreciate that.
I think you would appreciate that, and probably me too. But I mean, every game that was released now, the only thing that people ever talk about is like, is it in 4K? Is it 60 frames per second? Is it like super high res? And like, does it look super realistic? So, I mean, the one good thing that the new Battlefield games or Battlefront games have is that they look like Star Wars.
So the good news is, Will, there are KOTOR 4K mods.
Yeah.
They exist.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm very hopeful for this. I also very much appreciate this company and their work. So
this is not the game. This is a city.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did that. Oh my gosh! Sorry. Okay, here we go.
All right, you done, Chris? You said your piece. I think we should sign off.
No. Okay, here we go. So the fact that BioWare is not producing this, does that bother you in any way, shape, or form?
No.
Like, do you think that BioWare deserves another shot at making an actual KOTOR
Not
game?
unless they get separated from EA and someone else is like essentially restarts the company. BioWare is not BioWare anymore, so I just don't care.
Yeah, and actually, from what I understand, old BioWare employees have gone to Aspyr Media, so it's another good notion.
Mm-hmm.
There's been lots of people jumping ship from the companies that have, honestly, a lot of the games that they ported, they've had former employees of those companies jump ship to their company to help them with the port. So
that's cool.
It could be really good that they're doing the KOTOR game based on that alone. And then the last thing, they just got, you might enjoy this, they just got acquired by the Embracer Group, and they're working under Saber Interactive. Aren't they the ones that did some of the
Witcher?
Fill me in. Which game did they do previously? Do you know?
Well, Saber Interactive did the Witcher port on the Switch.
That's what I thought. So that could mean we might be getting some KOTOR Switch games.
I hope that is the case because I really want those on the Switch.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, especially since you'd never have to do anything with the graphics at all, and people would appreciate that. But I thought let me just double check. I'm curious. Yeah, they did Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary.
I keep forgetting that they did that. It's a Russian company, isn't it?
I don't actually know. But they own Aspyr Media now. Let's see here. No, American video game developer, founded in 2001 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Wow, are they still there? I really thought they were based out of Russia or some other Eastern European country.
I mean, maybe the founders are Russian in America.
Okay. I
don't
mean,
know.
I could be totally wrong about this, but I kind of remember a Vidoc when the guy had a very thick Russian accent. But go on.
He may be living in America, but from Russia.
Yeah,
Will that's
maybe.
always possible. But they did do Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. They did work with the Halo Master Chief Collection. They did work with Halo Online, so they were part of El Dorito.
Yeah, Russia. See, I told you that was Russian.
I mean, that's a Russian game. It's not made in Russia necessarily. Thank you very much. Okay, so anyways, yeah, so they are now above Aspyr Media, and they also did the Halo 2 Anniversary PC version. So I don't know, they've got some pretty good. They got some pretty good stuff under their belt, and if they're working with Aspyr Media, who's done some of the best ports in my opinion, period, it could be really cool on
very high
a
potential.
KOTOR remake between those two companies. So I don't think the Embracer Group acquiring Aspyr Media will be a bad thing, especially not for a KOTOR remake. It'll give them more money behind the project, more tools.
Especially when Microsoft buys them.
That would be even better. So there's that. But that was the last thing I wanted to mention was like they did get acquired by Saber Interactive, and I'm interested to see what happens after that. So if you haven't subscribed to our podcast, make sure you do that. YouTube.com/the CHRILLCAST. Click that red subscribe button. Get notifications in your window every single week from Will and I talking about whatever we talk about.
Yep.
As always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.